Hello students, we will continue with our previous project we were making, that is ball and paddle game. Here we had a ball and a paddle. When you press the green flag, the instructions show for 3 seconds. The ball moves all over the screen, and when it touches the edge of the screen it bounces back, and the paddle moves with my mouse. As I'm moving the mouse, the X position of the paddle is changing with the X position of my mouse. Wherever the mouse is going, the paddle is moving there. Now today we will learn how to dodge the ball up when the ball touches the paddle. So to do that, in the forever loop we will add a if command, if then command, and in the condition here we will be using from sensing, touching, and we'll change mouse pointer to paddle. So when the ball touches the paddle, if the ball touches the paddle, then as soon as the ball touches the paddle, it should bounce up. So we will give point in direction from motion, point in direction, and we can make the ball roll from minus 75 from 75 to minus 75. If we give anything between minus 95 and minus 75, it'll keep moving right and left. We don't want that. So to avoid that, it should be moving anywhere between minus 75 upwards to plus 75 upwards. So to give a range of numbers from operators, we will get this pick random from one number to another number. And we'll write here minus 75 and in the other part 75. And we'll place this pick random command inside point in direction. Now when I press the green flag, so the ball rolls. When it touches the paddle, it bounces up. But sometimes, children, it might happen that the ball rolls and touches the paddle 2 times. So, to avoid that, we will be changing the ball. As soon as it touches this, it should point upwards in the up direction and move 40 steps upwards. So here, before it changes to any random direction, from motion, I will bring point in direction 90 and change the direction to move completely upwards, vertically upwards, and then move 40 steps upwards. After that, so when it bounces here, it will go vertically upwards and 40 step forward. And after going here, it will change to any random direction between minus 75 to plus 75. Let us run this now. So the ball will first move upwards and then change direction. So even if it rolls while changing direction, it will not touch the paddle again. Now we can add a score variable. No, the same thing first of all will happen when it touches the ground edge also. So we can just duplicate this if command and then place the whole thing below this first if. But here the condition will be changed. Instead of touching paddle, we have to go in sensing and bring touching color command. To get the same shade of this ground blue color, I click on this color here, then click on the color picker button, bring it here on this rectangular box, click it, and then same shade of blue comes here. When you are choosing the color, if the circle's boundary fills with the same shade, just click it and the same shade comes here in the touching color command. Now also, as soon as it touches the blue color, the ball will bounce up. See, right from here, from touching the blue color, it is bouncing up. Now we will have a score variable. So from variables, I'll make a new variable called score, and in the beginning, we will set the score to 0. Set my variable, set score to 0. And the score should be hiding in the beginning when we show the instructions. The score should not show. So there's a command here, hide variable, choose the score variable, and then after 3 seconds, the variable should show. So show variable score. And when the ball touches the paddle, the score has to change. The score has to change by +1. Whatever is the current score, it will increase by +1. It will keep on increasing the score. And when the ball touches the ground, the score should decrease. So it will change by -1. Let me run this now. Now, as soon as the ball will touch the paddle, let us see, the score is increasing by +1, 3, 4, 5. Now I'll make it fall down on the ground. As soon as it touches the ground, the score is decreasing by 1, right? It'll keep on decreasing to 0, and after 0, it will become negative number, -1, -2, like that. Okay. Now we have to make sure that if, again, we have to use the if command, and in this if command, we have to choose from operators, equality operator. Here we have to check if the score is equal to -5. Then the game should end. So from looks, the backdrop has to be changed to game end, and everything has to stop. From control, you have to stop everything. If you want, you can play a sound. So from sounds, I can look for a sound, search for a lose sound. When somebody loses, that sound I can add here. And in the coding, we will go to sounds tab, play sound, and then stop all. Also, we can add one more if command. Make sure you don't add this if inside this if. This is if should be outside the previous if. And then here again in operators, another condition we have to check is that if the score is equal to 5, then from looks, I want to switch the backdrop to nebula. So let us save this now and make it full screen and run this. So in the beginning, I will keep on playing the game till the score becomes +5. As soon as it becomes 5, the backdrop switches to nebula. Okay, but in the nebula background, we have not added the ground. So the score is not decreasing. So we'll go back here and we'll go to the stage backdrops, and we will have to draw a rectangular box. And to make sure it is the same blue color, go to the starting page and choose the bucket tool, fill color, click on this color picker, and then choose the same shade of blue here. When the circle boundary is filled with this blue color, click on it, and the same shade will come here in the fill bucket. Now I go to the nebula backdrop, choose the rectangle option, and make a ground again down here. Now actually this backdrop has many shades of blue, so it will not be ideal to choose this backdrop. Let me take any other backdrop actually, which does not have. Okay, I'll choose the city with water and I'll delete this nebula. And here I will have the ground. So this blue shade is hopefully not there in the sky. Let's see. Then now we'll save this. Go into the ball coding. Switch backdrop to city with water and save it again and rerun. Now when I start the game, so when I let the ball drop, okay, let's go till score is 5. It switches to city, and when the it touches the blue backdrop, the blue ground, the score is decreasing by 1. So this same shade of blue is not there in the sky. So the ball is not touching anywhere in the sky, but only when it touches the ground, the score will decrease by 1. And when the score will be equal to -5, the game will be over. So let us wait for that. Score is -4. Oh, it touched the paddle, so it became +1. And now let us look at the ball. Okay. As soon as the ball touched the ground, the score became -5, and we could hear the losing sound, and the backdrop switched to game ends. At the end of the game, don't want to show the ball and the paddle, so we can do the coding in the events when backdrop switches to game ends. Then I want to hide this from looks. I can hide the ball. I can for the ball I can do it here also. Just before it switches to game ends, I can hide the ball. So I can do it any which way. But for the paddle coding, we don't know when the game is ending, so we have to use the event when the backdrop switches to game ends. Then from looks, we have to hide it. I'll save it again. And now when I press the green flag in the beginning, the game starts with instructions. This was the coding we gave for the ball, for the stage, that always start backdrop with the instructions page, wait for 3 seconds, and then switch to the starting page. And now here, as soon as the score is -5, okay, the ball did not hide. It is hiding after the backdrop switches and the sound we could hear. So we will hide it as soon as we will hide it before the backdrop switches. As soon as the score becomes equal to -5, we will hide it. I hope you have understood this coding and you will create this wonderful game and make your friends play this game which you have created on your own doing coding. Happy coding!